Welcome back. Today we are with
Robin?
and Murat.
today we're talking about one of the biggest causes of cloud breaches. We're going to talk about cloud misconfigurations, not advanced attacks, not 0 days to day, just wrong settings. It opens the door. I have the first question for Robin. What are cloud misconfigurations?
Yeah, so cloud misconfigurations are incorrect or insecure settings in a cloud environment that expose systems, data, or services. This includes things like overly permissive access, missing encryption, or publicly exposed resources or buckets. The cloud itself is secure, but only if it's configured that way.
Yeah, logically. Okay, thank you. The next question for Murat. Why are cloud misconfigurations such a common security issue?
Yeah, good question. I think because cloud environments move fast and are highly complex, so teams deploy resources quickly, often without fully understanding the security impact. So speed is prioritized, and security checks are skipped or delayed. So yeah, that's combination makes configurations almost unfighting.
Yeah. Understandable. Okay, the next question. What are some typical examples of cloud misconfigurations?
Typical examples include publicly accessible storage buckets, overly permissive IAM roles, missing encryptions on sensitive data, disabled logging, and APIs exposed without authentication. And these are like basic mistakes, but they can create very big doors for exposure.
Yeah, thank you. And how can small configuration mistake lead to a major breach?
Well, a small configuration mistake can lead to a major breach because cloud environments are interconnected. So a small mistake, like a role with too many permissions, that can allow that user or the role that uses that permission to attack on a broader scale. Um, so if you would have too much access, you will be able to even attack maybe a different resource that's really important for the security. But it all can start with just like a little bit of too much permissions for a user, and that account can get compromised, and that would lead into a major breach of the environment.
Yes, and why do misconfiguration happen even in major organizations?
Yeah, I think because complexity increases as organizations grow. So, for example, more accounts, more surfaces, more teams, and more automation creates an environment where visibility is reduced. Even experienced teams lose oversight when systems become too large and dynamic.
Uh-huh. Okay. And how can companies detect cloud misconfiguration early?
Um, so companies can detect misconfiguration early by continuously monitoring their environment instead of relying on manual checks. So this include automatic scanning, real-time alerting, and enforcing configuration baselines. And in cloud environments, it's very important that security is continuous and not in periodic.
Okay. And what roles does automation play in preventing misconfigurations?
Um, Yeah, the automation allows organizations to enforce policies, strict policies, detect issues instantly if something pops up, and sometimes even fix them automatically. Think of incident response. So without automation, teams are really constantly changing Um, or well, without automation, it would be almost impossible to secure the environment because it's constantly changing,
Yeah.
and the skill can go way out of reach for any small security team to even fix. So automation is like a really important and big deal in preventing misconfigurations.
Yeah, clear. And how do multi-cloud environments increase configuration risk?
Yeah, good question. It's also an important question. So, multi-cloud environments introduce inconsistency. Each provider has different services, configuration, and security models. So, teams need to understand and manage multiply platforms at once, which increases the chance of mistakes and makes standardization difficult.
Okay, understandable. And who's responsible for preventing cloud misconfiguration? The security or the DevOps?
I think both are very responsible, but have different techs. I think security defines policy and controls, while DevOps implement and manage the infrastructure. But if there like no clear alignment between these roles, um, the gaps will appear and misconfigurations they actually happen in those gaps.
So, okay. And what is one simple step every company can take to reduce cloud misconfiguration risk?
By enforcing least privilege. So most misconfigurations involve giving too much access to either a resource or a user. And by implementing permissions to only what's necessary and only what the user or that role needs, the impact of mistakes can be significantly reduced.
Oh, nice. That is good. And the last question: what is the funniest or weirdest cloud misconfiguration you ever seen that somehow still worked?
Yeah, I think a common example is public storage bucket containing sensitive data, where the teams assumes it is safe because no one knows the URL. It works until someone finds it. That is not security, that is luck. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I think
There's
that's the
luck.
weirdest
Yes.
thing.
All right. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this podcast,
Yes.
and we see each other in the next episode.
Yes, thanks
Yes,
for
Till
the
see
then.
you guys.
configurations. Bye bye.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.